So, the American dream is long dead. Like so many generations, I was raised by parents who surrendered my well-being to the state government school, who taught me that patriotism and consumerism is all there is to life. You grow up, you work hard, you get a perfect record, because otherwise this magical Sasquatch is going to follow you around after high school and show everybody this dirty record of yours. And of course that never happens. You go to college, you get educated in something that you just kind of settle for because you just don't know what else to do. You get your degree, you struggle a little while, you get a job, you start making money, you fall into life. You know, what you learned in your college education has pretty much nothing to do with what you're actually doing to make your money. You've settled into life, and you continue to bad habit. You just start settling. Maybe you settle for a partner or mate who really isn't everything that you want, but they're safe. You keep your job because you got to eat, you got to have a house, you got to pay your rent. So you put up with everything you don't like. Always grasping for more material things, trying to numb out the pain of a life that you're so invested in that you're unwilling to admit is absolutely hollow, absolutely empty, worthless. So we buy things. They make us feel good for a moment. The media, our friends, everyone's always telling us we need one more thing. And we live our life. If I could just get to this place, or if I could just have this thing, then I would be happy. If I could just own my own property, then I would be happy. If I could just get a better job and make more money, then I would be happy. But it doesn't seem to matter if we're flipping burgers at McDonald's, or if we're running a multi-million-dollar a year healthcare company. Both people are in the same situation. They've got to go to work. They can't miss their time there. Or they could lose their stuff because their stuff isn't actually their stuff. It's a financed house, clothes bought on a credit card, electronics bought on a credit card, a house financed with another bank. And then they tell you you've got to buy insurance to stay safe. And then you got to depend upon the government to go kill someone else to keep you safe. It's always under threat. It's a soft kill. It's violence. What if I didn't need the next thing? What if I didn't want to pay rent? What if I didn't even want to have a job? Would I starve? Food comes from a supermarket after all. It takes quite a basket load of groceries just to meet that 2,000 calorie a day diet to stay alive. So they say. If I didn't have a doctor, I wouldn't be healthy. They say. If I didn't work a job, I wouldn't have a house. I'd be on the street. Life would be miserable. That's what they say. And of course, every time you question the way things are, the answer is, well, you're being stupid. Shut up. You don't know anything. Be quiet. Get back in line. Go back to your job. You've got nice stuff. Would you really want to give it up? Don't be stupid. You ever wonder who they are? All these supposed truths and half-truths. There's always this contradiction. They sell you one thing, but then deny you the essence of it and tell you that you're wrong. Who decides what's right? Who decides what's wrong? It can't be the state. They clearly don't know up from down or right from wrong, or responsibility from irresponsibility. It can't be the churches who claim to obey some mighty being that's in a book, and yet absolutely nothing they do in that life of theirs lines up with the book that they supposedly follow. They're always disempowered, leaving everything up to a whimsical prayer that you could always argue whether it was ever answered or not. It's always some spiritual thing that's in control of everything, never you. They never look in their own books and see that they're to be one with their God. They never realize that they come from God. Instead, they would quickly resort to unforgiveness, four-letter words, and cursing and judgments upon anyone who would choose to follow the words in that book. And they would do the same if you chose to look at creation and follow creation and the principles that are actually the same. They would say, bow down to authority. But yet, if I am one with all, then what is authority? It's nothing more than that which I choose to submit to. It's nothing demonstratable outside of someone else enforcing their will over mine at the point of a gun under threat of violence, whether that's a common criminal like a thief or the government. Yeah, everything is always under threat of and fear and violence and the unknown. Nothing's truly knowable. They claim to be scientific, and yet for anything that doesn't fit within their idea of society, they never actually use true science. We could heal our bodies with nothing more than lifestyle and diet. We could bring peace and joy to our minds instead of chaos and depression. They treat these things with drugs, and yet they never solve them. And they threaten you once again. If you don't take this, bad things will happen. So, what if they are wrong? What would happen if you walked away from it all? What if instead of trying to get somewhere, what if there was no there? What if you could be completely happy within yourself? I mean, after all, what is life but the experiencing of the world around us? And ultimately, what do we care more than the feelings that it produces within us? What if through quiet time and meditation, I was actually receiving inspiration, things that made me feel excited? What if I, through vision and meditation, experienced the joy of having these things? Joy just as real as actually having them. Would I need the thing? We walk through our whole life seeking to go somewhere, and yet we never can arrive. Talk to people who are passing away. And once you get past the usual, I'm fine, then they're filled with regrets. They're filled with unspoken disappointments and unfulfilled needs and desires. They've never truly experienced the great joy from within, a joy that exceeds everything as we know it. So what if, instead of giving responsibility away to the government, to our friends, to our family, to the world around us, what if we took responsibility? What if we looked at what actually mattered? What if we disregarded every perceived threat for only that which was perceivable right now, this moment? In this moment, I have time, I have energy, I have health, I have a place to stay. I have everything that I need at this moment. At this moment, I can choose to go within myself and experience happiness, joy, love, satisfaction, contentment, peace. You know, the funny thing about peace is, when you come into the state of peace, there really is no concern for tomorrow. There's no concern for yesterday. It's a perfect moment. There's no need. There's nothing more to acquire. There's no better car to have, no nicer clothes to have. There's no place to go. There's no money to earn. There's nothing more. It's whole within itself. So certainly peace is even above joy. So what if we really did let go of all the presumptions, all the beliefs, all the programs that we run, and find that place of peace? Would it be possible to live in peace? Would I have to go back to work a job I hated, or to make money for things that I really don't need? Is there another way? Yes, I believe there really is another way. When I begin to look at everything and I seek out the truth in everything, I realize that there's a whole nother possibility. There's a whole nother reality, one which is we've been so completely distracted from. We've been taught to believe things that we don't know. Is the earth round? Well, I've personally never seen such. You can get on a plane, fly 14 hours with a level, and the plane never goes up or down. The horizon never drops away from eye level. Is the earth flat? I don't know, but I do know it's other than what they tell us. So when I look within and I disregard everything that I've been told, I've been taught all my life to disbelieve my own senses, to disbelieve what my eyes see, to disbelieve what my ears hear, what my emotions feel. Oh, peace, coming back to that peace, where I don't need to do anything, and I don't need to go anywhere, and I don't need to have anything. Well, given the climate I live in, that's not entirely true. It's too hot to be comfortable outside unless you soak in a pond and hang in a hammock. That doesn't sound so bad. But in the winter, the rain, the cold, the storms, it really is too much to bear. So, presumably, we need shelter. Something more than the mountain men had. A coat and a candle and food in our belly. That's good, but I might actually choose to have it a little better. So how could I have it a little better? After doing much digging around, I've learned that it's possible to build a home which heats and cools itself. A home which has no purchased energy coming in. A home that could be built solely from the earth around me. So having that home, I would need water. Water that can be gotten freely, abundantly, and cleanly from the sky. The water that falls upon my house. Beyond that, food. You hear about people who eat only meat, but as you grow in consciousness, you realize that you can't achieve higher states of being when eating the blood of other beings. Once you've fasted and gotten peace within yourself, you quickly realize that you are the creator of your reality. And to have clarity and to have that power of creation, drinking alcohol, doing drugs of any kind, prescription or otherwise, watching TV, all of these things become dulling to your ability to be your true self. You only want to return to that peace where your joy is complete, where there's nothing more to accomplish. And looking at food, we realize that, again, the ones who lie to us all the time have told us that we need 2,000 calories and all of these other things, and yet I see examples of people who are almost breatharians. There's real life examples of people who live on nothing more than tea and duck eggs. Tea. When you take a superfood, a plant, moringa, grass, almost anything, and soak it in water, the essence of that plant diffuses into the water. It contains amino acids and minerals. And with a little bit of true knowledge, you realize just a few plants can actually provide the essence of what we need. We don't actually need much protein, not for just living. The only other creature that resembles the guts of ours are those of frugivores, creatures that get everything they need from fruit alone. And interestingly enough, just like the animals people keep, when they take away the feed and feed them sprouted greens, they are no longer sick. They no longer need veterinarian care. And they no longer need a great deal of food. The food they previously ate was 80% undigestible, but sprouted living food is actually 80% digestible. And in the same way, when you take away all the foods that require great deals of energy to process, when you take away all the foods that our guts are not designed to eat, and you give us fruit, 90% of the energy of that fruit, of that ripe, nutrient-rich fruit, full of enzymes, full of life, full of minerals and trace elements, 90% of that goes directly to fuel our cells, unlike the 20% or less of the conventional diet. And so when you take this under consideration, you can live on 400 calories of fruit per day. In fact, I have done this for over 3 months. I have worked harder physically than I have ever worked. I've had no mucus, no congestion, no sickness, and my mind is absolutely clear. So, interestingly enough, you can plant 10 apple trees in a tall spindle system, and at maturity, at 4 years, this system will produce 2,000 apples per year. Believe it or not, that's actually enough calories to live, to exist. Apply a technology that's appropriate when appropriate, like solar energy and a freeze dryer. You could preserve all of the nutrition and enzymes of this food, and at this point, you would have your home paid for. You would have your dietary requirements met. And from there, you can build up to add in the desires. From there, in peace, you find your true calling in life, and you have the ability to take this out, to share with other people, to live as you choose, when you choose, as you choose, and go where you choose. You could spend most of the year traveling on almost no money. And it's amazing, once you have the ability to have what you want, to go where you want, and to do what you want as you want, many of our desires that we believe we needed fall away. Having fallen away, we come to our true and pure self, and we find that there is something we want to do in the world. There is something that is the essence of who we are, and it's something that other people need, something without which they would never be complete. And likewise, they have something within them that is unique to them, something that helps me become a better me and more complete. So, I choose life. I choose life abundant. I set down all that I have known, and I live in peace. And in peace, I find myself. And in myself, I find a great value that I can offer others. A value which is very often reciprocated to me in the form of money, things, possessions, friendships, love, and a joy that is absolutely unspeakable. From here, it seems that anything is possible. Anything at all. It's the peak of life. There is no there to go to when it's here. When I stop looking to external authority and I look within, I still my mind. I get clear. I get divine inspiration. And I do things that are very meaningful. Things which always return a surplus to me. I have everything that I need. And so, it's my desire to offer to you very soon a complete lifestyle package that gives you the starting point all the way through having peace. I'm going to offer workshops to help you get your vision and to discover peace. I'm going to show you a home that provides your shelter, provides your food, provides your income, provides you a place to live in peace and harmony, a place to discover yourself, a place to find your inner divine guidance so that everything you do will be movement and action in this physical world with spiritual and fulfilling meaning. Bless you all. I wish you the absolute best. Have a wonderful, beautiful day.